School closure in effect in Pulau Pinang. Cabinet greenlights LRT3 project. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Welcome to News on 2. The Pulau Pinang Education Department has complied with the Health Ministry's order to close several schools in the state following the hand, foot and mouth disease or HFMD outbreak. According to its director, Muhammad Jamil Muhammad, the department was monitoring the situation closely with the Health Department.
Yang kita akan akur kepada arahan itu sebab penyakit ini dia very contagious, very contagious. Jadi langkah-langkah awal kita dah pun keluarkan satu surat siaran untuk semua sekolah lebih prihatin kepada kebersihan. Dan kalau galakkan anak-anak kita untuk basuh tangan supaya bersih, kemudian kantin bersih. Dan kalau ada tanda-tanda pelajar yang dijangkiti ini, dia kena dengan segera dilaporkan kepada kita dan untuk kita liaise dengan kesihatan.
3 more schools in Pulau Pinang are being inspected for suspected HFMD following the outbreaks last week. Among them are SJKC Union, SJKC Kuang Wah and SJKC Chongqing. Previously, the Health Department had disclosed that 2 schools, one of which was an international school, were closed down for the HFMD outbreak among their students. Meanwhile, the number of HFMD cases in Kedah has risen to 834 since July 7th, compared to the 630 cases reported in the corresponding period last year. Pendang district recorded the highest increase at 120.7%, followed by Langkawi 118.8% and Kuala Muda at 105.3%. According to Kedah Health Director Dr. Nur Hizan Ismail, despite the increase in HFMD cases, nurseries, daycare centres and schools have not been ordered to close. The decision was made since there are no serious outbreak of the disease or related deaths. Meanwhile, the public has been advised to take precautions against the disease by maintaining cleanliness of their premises, particularly the equipment and utensils that are handled by children. Nurseries and daycare centres are required to screen their children at the entrance for symptoms of HFMD. Police are not ruling out the element of negligence in the death of the baby found in the refrigerator on July 3rd. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Mazlan Mansor said negligence was among the other factors on which police investigations are focused on.
Memang ada elemen-elemen yang boleh mendorong kepada kecuaian dan sebagainya. Itu kita tak nafikan. Dan juga kita siasat daripada semua angle-angle lah, sudut-sudut yang mana boleh membantu siasatan.
5-month-old Adam Raquel Mohamed Sufi was found dead in the freezer compartment of the fridge of the home of his babysitter in Kampung Nakoda, Batu Caves. The 33-year-old babysitter and another woman, aged 36, were remanded since last Wednesday to facilitate investigations into the death of the baby. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code. Meanwhile, a mechanic who was on his way to use the outhouse made a surprise find when he came across the body of a baby with an attached umbilical cord in a drain behind his home, Kampung Atas Penggit, Dewan Beta in Kota Baru, Kelantan. According to Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Hasanuddin Hassan, Mat Juso Awang made a report of the incident at the Nilampuri police station yesterday. Initially, Mat Juso saw an object which he mistook for a doll in the drain near the outhouse. The body of the baby was taken to Raja Perempuan Zainab II Hospital in Kota Baru for further action. The case is being investigated under Section 318 of the Penal Code for intentional concealment of birth. Langkawi police scored their biggest drug haul for this year with the seizure of various types of drugs weighing almost 3 kilograms and estimated to be worth 121,800 ringgit following the arrest of 28 individuals. Langkawi District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim said 2.4 kilograms of substance believed to be heroin was seized from one of the suspects.
Untuk maklumat, rampasan ini adalah merupakan rampasan yang terbesar untuk IPD Langkawi pada tahun ini, di mana yang lepas kita cuma merampas 1.6 dan kali ini kita berjaya merampas dadah 2.4 kilogram dan pemeriksaan dapati lelaki ini baru saja keluar daripada penjara dan sebelum ini juga dikenakan hukuman atas kesalahan dadah juga.
Superintendent Muhammad Iqbal further added that cash amounting to 5,250 ringgit, believed to be the proceeds from the drug sales, was also seized from the suspect when he was arrested at his house in Taman Desa, Kemboja. The case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. 6 other suspects, namely 5 men and a woman, were also detained under the same act following the seizure of 523 grams of heroin, 0.23 grams of shabu and 500 ringgit cash. More than 6,000 drug addicts are recorded annually through arrests and operations conducted by the Kedah National Anti-Drug Agency, AADK. Kedah AADK Director Madzir Elias said the figure is very worrying, as there are cases involving underage students as young as 9 years old. Checks conducted last year on 3,000 students aged between 15 to 17 years old revealed that 238 of them were found addicted to opiate. Among the hotspots in the state include Kuala Muda, Kulim, Kota Star, Langkawi and Baling.
Mana kawasan ni kawasan berfokus lah. Kawasan yang kita adakan aktiviti untuk nak cater isu penagihan. Kemudian kita nak bangunkan masyarakat tu supaya ambil peranan dan tanggungjawab supaya at least dapatlah jadi keluar daripada kawasan hitam.
He was met at the Kedah AADK Aidilfitri Open House in Alustar. Mahathir also called on parents and community leaders to play a better and active role in assisting AADK to contain the drug menace throughout the state and nation. Singapore said its request to Hong Kong for assistance in arresting Malaysian businessman Low Teck Jo or Joe Low in April 2016 to facilitate investigations into the 1MDB scandal was declined. In a statement, the Singapore Police Force refutes media reports that said it did not ask Hong Kong's help for Joe Low to be apprehended and extradited. Singapore said they have issued a warrant of arrest for Joe Low in April 2016, following investigations and charges against him for offences of alleged money laundering and dealing with stolen property. In the same month, and acting on information received, SPF sent a request to the Hong Kong Department of Justice for assistance to provisionally arrest Joe Low. In October 2016, Singapore also requested for the publication of an Interpol Red Notice against him. To date, both the warrant of arrest and Interpol Red Notice are in force. It was reported that Joe Low and his family are allowed to leave Hong Kong to Macau because neither Singapore nor Malaysia formally requested his arrest. Tan Sri Richard Malanjum was sworn in as the new Chief Justice of Malaysia effective yesterday. Tan Sri Malanjum, 65, received his letter of appointment from the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V in a ceremony at the Bilik Singgasana Kecil or Small Throne Room, Istana Negara last night. Also present were Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Dato' Liew Bui Kiong, Attorney General Tommy Thomas, Chief Secretary to the Government Tan Sri Dr. Ali Hamza, and Federal Court Chief Registrar Dato' Sri Latifah Muhammad Tahar. Tan Sri Malanjum, who is former Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, is replacing Tun Mat Raus Sharif, who will step down as the Chief Justice effective July 31st. After the swearing-in ceremony, Sultan Muhammad V presented the letters of appointment to the new Court of Appeal President, Tan Sri Ahmad Marup, and Chief Judge of Sabah and Sarawak, Dato' David Wong Dakwa. Both Tan Sri Ahmad and Dato' David Wong are replacing Tan Sri Zulkifli Ahmad Makinuddin and Tan Sri Malanjum, respectively. The Cabinet yesterday approved the continuation of the LRT3 project at a final cost of 16.63 billion ringgit, down 47% from the original cost of 31.65 billion ringgit. According to a media statement released by the Finance Ministry, the Cabinet agreed to continue the project after its owner, Prasarana Malaysia Berhad, showed it was able to cut costs by nearly half and save the government 15.02 billion ringgit. Steps taken to reduce and rationalize the cost of the project include having the order of train carriages from 42 sets of 6 cars to 22 sets of 3 cars, the size of the LRT train depot, streamlining the size and design of the LRT stations, and shelving 5 stations where the projected ridership is low. The massive 15 billion ringgit savings in cost helps cut government debt and will also save taxpayers up to 14 billion ringgit in loan financing interest in the long run. Furthermore, the timeline to complete the LRT3 project has been extended from 2020 to 2024. The statement added that the 37-kilometre line aims to alleviate traffic congestion along one of the most important and densely populated economic development corridors in the Klang Valley, from Klang to Petaling Jaya. The Asian economy, including Malaysia, will remain resilient amid the ongoing trade war between the US and China. Former Bank Negara Malaysia Governor Tan Sri Dr. Zeti Akhtar Aziz said this kind of global trade war does not benefit anyone. Tan Sri Dr. Zeti was commenting on the latest news on the escalating trade conflict, whereby the US, in its latest move, threatened to impose fresh tariffs on another $200 billion of Chinese goods.
This kind of global trade war, it doesn't benefit anyone, but I believe in the resilience of the Asian economies, and we will demonstrate that resilience going forward.
The US trade representative released a new round of proposed tariffs, listing 200 pages of items valued at $200 billion, which included baseball gloves, handbags, and digital cameras. This latest move came just 2 days after $34 billion duties in goods and services came into effect. China, meanwhile, has vowed to retaliate. Effective today, e-hailing service providers will be regulated by the government under the Land Public Transport Amendment Act 2017 and the Commercial Vehicle Licensing Board Act 2017. Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook said beginning today, all e-hailing companies must register with the Land Public Transport Commission, SPAD, as mediation business and would have to pay an annual fee of 115 ringgit, similar to taxi drivers. In a statement released, Loke said following various complaints from both taxi and e-hailing drivers, SPAD has drafted the terms and conditions that will apply to mediation business and e-hailing drivers. The move is also in line with the taxi industry that involved conditions to apply for license, conditions for vehicles, conditions for driver worthiness, and conditions for operations. On the conditions for license application, Loke said e-hailing companies need to register with the Companies Commission of Malaysia, SSM, and the Cooperative Commission of Malaysia, SKM. The minister further added that the government had decided to cap the commission rates due to the grouses by e-hailing drivers regarding high commission rate imposed by e-hailing companies of up to 25%. The proposal to introduce an insurance protection scheme for farmers is expected to be finalized by the end of this month. Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Minister Salahuddin Ayub said several factors need to be considered before the scheme could be implemented, with the aim of providing compensation to farmers who suffered losses due to natural disasters.
Saya rasa kita mengambil masa mungkin hujung Julai ini, kita akan dapat melihat bagaimana bentuk ataupun mekanisme yang kita akan gunakan. Ini memerlukan 1-2 kali lagi perundingan sama dengan pihak Agrobank dan juga dengan pihak syarikat insurans yang kita akan muktamadkan nanti.
He also said that the ministry feels the need for an insurance scheme because of a sum of money could be paid to the farmers hit by unexpected natural disasters so as to ease their burden. On another matter, he said the ministry was committed to eliminating any form of restrictions in the export of several agricultural products, including the durian and bird's nest, to China. Salahuddin added that this matter would be discussed during the visit of Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to China next month. The decision to provide a special monthly allowance of 200 ringgit to officers and personnel of the Fire and Rescue Department will be made known by this month's end. Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamaruddin said a working paper on the matter was tabled at the Cabinet meeting and her ministry was awaiting a decision from the Finance Ministry. If approved, the special allowance will benefit 14,761 department employees, involving an annual allocation of 35.4 million ringgit annually, placing the agency on par with other enforcement agencies.
InsyaAllah, yes. Kemungkinan besar kerana kita tidak melibatkan implikasi keuangan tambahan. Ya, kerana kerajaan sekarang tengah dalam keadaan berjimat cermat. Jadi kalau saya minta melibatkan perbedaan tambahan kemungkinan susah nak diluruskan. Tapi saya kira dengan kebijaksanaan kita dalam menguruskan kewangan dalam KPKT ini mampu kita untuk memperuntukkan untuk critical allowance untuk anggota bomba.
Zuraida was met at her ministry's Hari Raya open house in Putrajaya. On a separate development, she said the National Community Policy Report would be tabled at the Cabinet meeting for approval, while the ministry is gathering data and information before it is presented in August. Bank Negara Malaysia has maintained the overnight policy rate, or OPR, at 3.25% after the two-day Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which ended yesterday. In a statement, the central bank said at the current OPR level, the degree of monetary accommodation is consistent with the intended policy stance. BNM said the Malaysian economy continued to expand in the first half of 2018, supported by private sector activity with additional impetus from net exports. The statement disclosed that the positive growth performance is expected to be sustained, driven by both domestic and external demand. It added the MPC will continue to monitor and assess the balance of risks surrounding the outlook for domestic growth and inflation. The MPC meeting is the fourth held this year and the first chaired by newly appointed Governor Datuk Nur Syamsiah Muhammad Yunus. Malaysia is to further strengthen defence cooperation with Japan and expects to ink several MOUs with that country before the end of this year. According to Defence Minister Mohammad Sabu, Malaysia recognises Japan's contribution to peace and stability in the world. Mohammad Sabu said during a recent cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad also noted that he wants Malaysia to follow the Japan style of defence. Speaking in front of high-ranking delegates from various countries during the Japan Self-Defence Forces reception yesterday, Mohammad said he was looking forward to making a trip to the land of the rising sun soon. Also present, visiting Japan's Foreign Affairs Minister Taro Kono said Japan was also looking forward to strengthening the bilateral relationship, which entered its 60th year last August. He expressed gratitude for Malaysia's concern over the floods in western Japan, which had killed almost 200 people. Boxing, Manny Pacquiao on Wednesday said he is excited to face Lucas Mathise for his WBA welterweight title on Sunday, while the Argentine champion expressed confidence he will defeat the Filipino veteran and retain his belt. Once again, Manny Pacquiao will step into the ring with a title on the line. But this time, the Filipino veteran will be the challenger when he takes on Lucas Mathise for the Argentinian's regular WBA welterweight title this Sunday morning in Kuala Lumpur.
My mindset for the fight is excited and ready for the fight this coming Sunday, and give a good show and entertain the fans. That's my mindset right now, and just focus.
Pacquiao held a public workout on Wednesday in a makeshift gym built in the car park of his team hotel, and for the first time since 2001, Freddie Roach was missing. He dropped his longtime Hall of Fame trainer in the lead-up to the Mathise fight and replaced him with Buboy Fernandez, his boyhood friend who served as Roach's chief assistant for 16 years. Mathise, meanwhile, who has won 36 out of his 39 professional fights by stoppage, said he was confident he can defeat Pacquiao and retain his title. He will get plenty of insight on his opponent from trainer Joel Diaz. Diaz said he believed the Filipino will try to grind Mathise down mentally rather than physically, but they are prepared. And that concludes this afternoon's News on 2. In our top story today, school closure in effect in Pulau Pinang due to HFMD outbreak. Join us again at 7 this evening. I'm Mohana Priya. Thanks for watching.